隐患蛮大的。
关系。
This is a little low for me. Okay, all right. So my name is Xinru Huang, and welcome everyone to the Future Ready Skills 2025 Forum. Our topic today is what employers are really looking for. I am the Vice President from Asian American Women Entrepreneur Association, and it's very happy to be here in North Carolina. I'm from Maryland, and our president is from Virginia. So we drive about 4 hours to here yesterday. So it's very, very nice to meeting everyone here. I am honored to co-host today's event with my wonderful colleague, Kelly Zhou.
Hi, thank you, Xingu. And I'm Kelly Zhou, the Director of AAWEA Marketing Relations and CEO of AAWEA. And we're so excited to have such an incredible group of the students, young professors, and the industry leaders to gather here today at Duke University of Fuqua School of Business, and all eager to explore the skills and the strategies that will define the future workplace. Thank you.
Yes, and we also have an online live session right now on Zoom. So if you have any friend, classmates that want to join but cannot attend, you can give them the meeting code so they can join us online. If you can write down the meeting code, that's 443-310-4005 with the password 8888. Yeah, Chinese like 8.
Say that again.
Okay.
Say that
So
again.
the meeting link is 443-310-4005 with the password 8888. Okay, so if you have anyone who will be interested. Today's event is co-hosted by the North Carolina chapter of AAWEA, the Chinese Entrepreneurs Organization at Duke, the Duke CEO, and also Career Minister of GVEDU Tech. We would also like to take a moment to recognize the incredible efforts of AAWEA team and the Duke CEO, as well as our dedicated volunteers. Zheng Xing Su is here. Su's here, yes. Say hi. Leslie, I think Leslie may be outside, but yes, that's her incredible help with the AV team today. And we also have many volunteers outside at the parking lot and with all the directions. Maybe some of you will get help, so thank them. For Lia Li, Jia Ge, Harper Hu, Alex Li, Jing Zhuang Yao, and Jia Qilin. Everyone else who worked tirelessly behind the scenes to make this event possible. Thank you so much. Your hard work and commitment can bring this forum to life, and we truly appreciate what you have done. Sorry, it's just a little long.
I think that in today's fast-changing job market, employees are looking for more than just a technical enterprise, and they value adaptability, leadership, and strong communication skills. Yet many students and young professors find themselves wondering, what skills do I really need to succeed, and how do I stand out? So this forum today is designed to answer exactly that questions.
All right. So to kick off today's event, we are very honored to introduce a visionary leader who has been at the forefront of entrepreneurship, mentorship, and community empowerment, Bo Pen. She is a friend of mine for over a decade. We have been partners since we met each other. She is not only the president of AAWEA, but also a seasoned entrepreneur, business coach, and advocate for professional development. With years of experience guiding startups and emerging leaders, Bo has dedicated her career to empower Asian American women and young professionals by providing them with the tools, connections, and confidence needed to succeed in today's evolving job market. Under her leadership, AAWEA has grown into a dynamic platform that supports aspiring entrepreneurs through mentorship, networking, and career development programs. Bo's passion for breaking barriers, fostering leadership, and driving innovation has made a lasting impact on both the business and academic communities. Her insights and dedication continue to inspire the next generation of change makers. So please, warm welcome applause to welcome Bo Pen. the longest instruction. Hello, everyone. My name is Bo Pin. You see, many people ask me, what's your English name? I say, if you are Chinese, you know Peng Guo. English is Bloomberg. Everyone can remember me, right? The famous Bloomberg. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. First and most, I want to express my deepest gratitude to the incredible team and that made this forum possible. Organizing an event like this takes a huge amount of dedication, and I want to acknowledge our AAWEA core team. Xinlu Huang, she's the Vice President of AAWEA, and Lin, and the President of AAWEA North Carolina chapter, and she's also the founder of the Cunoodle restaurant. Does everyone know? Yeah, the delicious restaurant. Yeah, she's not only a successful entrepreneur, but also a dedicated community leader. In less than 2 years in North Carolina, she has actively contributed to various public service initiatives and play a vital role in building the foundation of AAWEA in this region. And also she and Kelly Joe, also being instrumental in bringing together today's outstanding speakers here, And Kelly Joe, Director of AAWEA Marketing Relations and the CEO of GVEDU Tech, whose leadership and outreach efforts help us secure an impressive lineup of industry leaders. And for me, say something to you. You mean? Okay.
As the president of the AAWEA North Carolina chapter, I want to give a big thank you to our AAWEA headquarters, especially our President Owen and Vice President Xinlu Huang, and they for traveling from Northern Virginia to support this forum. And of course, a huge thanks to all our amazing speakers being here and sharing their insight with us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now, let me ask you a question. How many of you are currently looking for a job? Only one?
Oh, wow.
Okay, maybe we have more online, right? And how about those who are considering changing careers or starting a business? Good. Few more, yeah. No matter where you are on your professional journey, we all face the same challenge. How do we stay ahead in constantly evolving job market? That's exactly what we are here today. Today's forum is designed for students to understand industry trends and prepare for the future job market. Early career professionals to gain career insight and accelerate growth. And also entrepreneurs and international professionals to explore business strategies and immigration pathway. As the founder and the president of AAWEA, I have worked with many aspiring entrepreneurs and professionals. One of the biggest challenges they face is not knowing where to start, whether it is building a business, advancing in their careers, or navigating sponsorship and networking. At AAWEA, we are committed to empower professionals through mentorship, education, and a strong community. And we are fortunate to have today's incredible speakers who are not only sharing their expertise, but also committed to supporting you beyond this event. At the same time, we are also expanding our presence in higher education institutions like Duke University. We are all here today, and we are planning to continue collaborate with other institutions to bring more career development and entrepreneurship programs to students nationwide. If you are a student leader or professional interested in being part of our future university tour programs, welcome to connect with us. And this forum isn't just about listening, it's about engaging. Take advantage of this opportunity, talk to our speakers, connect with your peers, and ask questions that matter to you. And later we have a panel discussion part, so you have a chance to submit your questions and commit with them directly. Because you never know your next career breakthrough, the business partners or mentor, maybe just sitting right next to you. Okay. So are you ready to take charge of your future?
Yes.
Yeah, thanks. So let's get started with our opening speakers. And once again, thank you all for coming today. Thank you.
So I'm so happy to make this start. And thank you, Hongbo. And now we would like to introduce someone who has played a vital role in empowering students, entrepreneurs, and young professionals here at Duke University. And then Kila is the founder and the co-president of Duke University, an organization dedicated to fostering entrepreneurship, leadership, and innovation among students. And under her leadership, Duke CEO has become a hub for aspiring entrepreneurships, connecting them with industry leaders and valuable resources to help them transforming ideas into impact. Beyond Duke CEO, Kila is an inspiring leader who understands the colleagues students facing when transitioning into the professional world, and her passion for mentorship, innovation, and creating opportunities for young professionals truly embodied the mission of today's forum. And I think I also just want to say something about our meet. I think that's the first time we meet at the opening ceremony of the Duke CEO, and that's really impressed me. So please join me at.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to welcome you to this special gathering at Duke University. As the founder and co-president of Duke CEO, I'm proud to see this forum bring together some of the brightest minds in entrepreneurship, innovation, and leadership. Since its establishment in September 2024, Duke CEO has grown into a leading entrepreneurial community. Officially recognized by Duke, we have built strong partnerships with global organizations like Harvard Ventures, Stanford CEO, Quakers, GPS Summit, Zilli Summit, and more. Today, our network extends beyond Duke, spanning North Carolina and East Coast, and even the West Coast, with members from all nations, from undergrads to PhDs, professors to alumni. As today's co-host, Duke CEO is dedicated to fostering bold ideas, impactful collaborations, and a thriving global network. We provide not just opportunities, but a platform for entrepreneurs, investors, and visionaries to connect, learn, and grow. I'm also excited to announce that on February 27, Duke CEO will host an insider session featuring a top European investor with 14 years of experience across 6 countries. He will share insights on career paths and the global startup ecosystem. Don't miss the chance to gain insider knowledge, expand your network, and enjoy free food right here at Duke. And it's also cooperate with our Gen EduTech. This forum is just one of many steps by Duke CEO to build a stronger entrepreneurial ecosystem. Whether you're a seasoned entrepreneur or just starting out, I encourage you to engage, ask questions, and build meaningful connections. Welcome to Duke. Welcome to this forum, and welcome to Duke CEO. Here the future of entrepreneurship is taking shape. Let's make today an unforgettable experience. Thank you.
classroom. Take a little walk here. Thank you, Carla, for all the introduction. I also want to express some special thanks for our sponsors, because without their sponsorship, this event cannot happen. Okay, the first thank you would be to Lincoln. You already met her, the CEO of Q Noodle with the chain restaurant here. She also prepared some special gift for us today. So if anyone can join us, it's free to join. Okay, join our AAWEA community, and you stay to the last of the event. You're gonna get a $15 gift card of Q Noodle, which is a nice quiet meal. Okay, and also today's food. Okay, all the dinner, everything is sponsored by Lincoln. So special thanks for Fan Link here. And also another sponsor, we also drive from Virginia to here yesterday together. That's our GS Health. If you can stand up a little bit. They are also innovation company with GS technologies, and they also bring us very nice samples, and about things to try out. So it can also happen in the network. All right, just thank you very much for our sponsors. And also, we have the distinct honor of welcoming a trailblazer in public service, a leader dedicated to economic empowerment, education, and community growth, North Carolina State Representative Ya Liu. Representative Liu made history as the first Chinese-American woman elected to the North Carolina General Assembly, where she has been a strong advocate for workforce development, small business support, and opportunities for unrepresented communities. Her commitment to ensuring a thriving, inclusive economy has had a profound impact on both local business and aspiring professionals across the state, like us. All right, beyond her legislative work, Representative Liu has an extensive background in law and education, holding a PhD in sociology and previously serving as a professor at Duke Law School. Her unique expertise in policy, legal frameworks, and economic mobilities gives her a deep understanding of the challenges and opportunities facing today's workforce. So please join me in welcoming North Carolina State Representative Ya Liu.
So much for the kind introduction. I want to first thank the organizers, AAWEI and Duke CEO, for inviting me to join this distinguished panel. And it's my honor to speak with you. And after you hear the introduction, you feel like, oh, that's a story of success, right? A first-generation immigrant, how did she get here? I mean, how did she get to the General Assembly, the People's House, and a full room of legislators and state leaders? And how did she get there? Sometimes I look at my name. There's only one Chinese name Liu there. And it's the first time in the history of North Carolina. And I just can't believe how that happened. But let me share you the background, right? And I was the student who applied for Duke when I was in China. And I was like, that's my dream school. Okay, guess what? I didn't get in, okay? So I tried and I got to a pretty average school at Georgia State, and I studied really hard. I got a master's degree in sociology. I actually published quite a few articles while I was only a master's student at Georgia State. And I was like, maybe now I'm good enough for Duke, right? So I tried it again. I applied for Duke and UNC. Guess what? I didn't get in, okay? So that's 2 tries and didn't get to Duke. I went to NC State, an amazing graduate school, and I got my PhD there. But guess what? After I got my PhD, and I was hired to be a faculty member at Duke Law School, and I was walking onto campus, I was like, okay, life is interesting. I didn't get to be a Duke student, but guess what? I could teach Duke students, right? So don't get discouraged, don't get frustrated when you don't get, don't achieve your goals with your first try, with your second try, but if you keep working at it, and you will get it somehow, right? And life is full of challenges. And I want to share with you a story of a student. He was a brilliant student. His name was Leon. He was 17 years old. He got ED from Duke. And the reason I share with you the story was that he said he loved music. And he was an amazing student. He was only a senior, but he was taking calculus 3 from community college. his parents didn't know the struggle he went through, and he killed himself after he got Duke ED. The reason I'm sharing the story was later his parents discovered a note from his son, that even though he got an admission letter from Duke, and there in the letter it said if you ever had cheated or had disciplinary actions against you in one exam, you need to let Duke know, right? And there are several choices that he could make. One is basically you tell Duke, and Duke decides whether they will still accept him into Duke, or he could say, I'm just going to take my chance and not tell Duke, right? Or he tells Duke and Duke doesn't even care because it's an upper elective course. But in his mind, he couldn't decide, and he couldn't tell his parents, and he took his life. And so I'm in the process of introducing a law. It's named after him, Leon's Law. So the law will basically allow the parents to be notified, because Leon was still a minor. If you're a minor in your high school, your parents will be notified. If there's any disciplinary actions against you, or if you fail a class, your parents will be notified. But because he was a senior, a high schooler, but he was taking college level courses, he wasn't notified. So I'm in the process of introducing Leon's Law, and this, if I succeed, and it will be the law of North Carolina that all parents will be notified if any disciplinary actions occur to their children. And the reason I'm sharing the story, Leon could have had a bright life ahead of him, right? You make one mistake, but this mistake doesn't define you. But a lot of times for young people, and I'm just using this example, it's a high schooler and it's one exam, and it's okay, right? You can fail the exam, or you don't get admitted to Duke. You can go to UNC, right? And there are plenty of colleges out there. Or you don't go to colleges at all. Your parents don't care. Your friends don't care. People love you, don't care. And you are not even defined by that one exam, one college, and one story. And you can encounter many, many challenges in your life. But just don't give up and keep trying, right? And for a student who was rejected by Duke twice, but who got the chance to teach at Duke for a decade, and then actually decided to, leave the job at Duke. I thought it was my dream job, but there were better opportunities for me to start my own business, start my own law firm, to help many business owners to succeed, and to help my community have a voice in the General Assembly. That was more important to me. So one story doesn't define you. And a lot of times life has thrown you a curveball. You just need to catch it and throw it right back. And that's the story for your life. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Representative. So if we can take a chance to take some group photo first. I know some of you are on busy schedule who may leave early. So if we can have all our speakers here in the front, and we're just gonna turn around and we can get everyone in the photo, okay?
Yeah.
So if all the speakers can get onto the stage. Thank you, everyone. So now here comes our keynote speaker session. Okay. To start, let's welcome our first keynote speaker, Steve Niu. As the president of the Chinese American Economic and Cultural Association, he has worked extensively in, before introduction,
Yeah.
I missed one sponsor earlier, sorry for that. We also have attorney Kim Mei Shen, who also sponsored for our event, because I always remember her as our speaker today. So sorry about missing that, but thanks a lot, she also sponsored. Well, she actually fly from Florida to here. So we have a lot of outstate visitors today. Thank you a lot for making this event possible. Okay, sorry to Steve. Okay, let's back. Okay. So Steve Niu, the president of the Chinese American Economic and Cultural Association, he has worked extensively in fostering international business collaboration and economic growth. With a deep understanding of global workforce trends, he will be sharing insights on a critical topic for many young professionals today. What kind of employees are companies willing to sponsor? So please join me in welcoming Steve Niu.
This is a great opportunity. Matt speaking to a women's organization. So fun. Anyway, my name is Steve Niu. I'm from Triangle County, one of the largest Chinese accounting firm in the East Coast. We have 14 offices, over 100 employees. In the last 21 years, we sponsor over 100 of H-1B students, and we sponsor over 40 incomes in the past 21 years. So I have a lot of story on sponsorship. You know, what kind of person as an employer like to sponsor? A very good question, and I think this is a very significant topic. So you know, I've been being frustrated. You know, a lot of our students abuse this program. You know, we are very honored to have the H-1B programs. We can hire some very smart students from Chinese communities, and most of them work very well. But I do have encountered a lot of issues, serious issues. I have one lady get her H-1B approved on October 1, and she left our company on October 2. You know, we spent a lot of money, spent a lot of time training her, to teach her, so forth. So my conclusion is that, you know, at this point, after 21 years of practice, we realized that we needed to hire some mature people who have families, have a home, have children. Those people can work for you 20, 30 years. They never change. Yeah, today's meeting is dealing with women's business. But, you know, I have my personal prospect. I'm not politically right, but, you know.
First is Saturday afternoon, you will do a performance training with Lucas, okay? We training in person. And then Saturday night, you will go to NC State to eat dinner with me.
I have one lady walk away without transferring her clients to other business, lost almost $500,000 business tax to my clients. So there's a lot of story behind the sponsorship. A lot of people abuse this program. So who I would like to sponsor? Right? Apparently, depends on job performance. If you do a great job, of course, the employer will be willing to sponsor you. But if you do a bad job, you always have a strong personality. You always trying to sue your employer. Nobody is going to be sponsored. You know, tell. I have a lady from Atlanta office come to my office, said, I'm in the legal process to sue my prior employer due to discrimination through force. You know, I was scared. I said, you don't have to work here. You sue your prior employer, you're going to sue me somehow. So I have to just walk away from you. You know, have a good personality. The school you graduate from, it really does not make that much difference. You know, a student graduate from community college might do a better job compared to somebody graduate from Harvard. From my business. Because those guys, these people can work 20, 40 years. Whereas those students graduate from higher, from a well-known university, they can walk away, they can switch job back forth 10 times a year. You know, that's definitely not responsible. We're not responsible for somebody jump around different jobs. You know, I find a job, tell that I worked in the previous job so I can get an increase on my pay raise. And then after two months, goes to another employee. Should I sponsor this person? No, absolutely not. So when you do the interview, you ask your employee asks you how many jobs you can work, why you leave your previous job. You tell them, you know, I'm always looking for more opportunity. I'm looking for high-paid opportunities. 99% of time, company will not hire. I can tell. Yeah, from your careers, from your personal careers, yeah, you're looking for more opportunities, look for a higher paid job. But we as an employer, we looking for somebody who can work longer time. You know, we don't want you to spend 3 months training on how to do it. Most of the students come to the company, they don't even know how to make a copy. They don't even know how to answer a telephone. You have to spend time and money to train these people. In the last 21 years, we, like a school, we train a lot of employees. Those employees was big four, you know, hundreds. Initially, we feel, okay, this is getting real mad. You know, why this happened? And later on now, I understand, you know, everybody look for, you know, good opportunity, high-paid job. So, to employer, you know, we have a lot of factors which we needed to consider. Oh, by the way, Triangle Accounting, we have an office here in Cary. We're looking for interns. We're looking for employees. We always look because we have dealing with a lot of international taxations, dealing with people have income from various other countries. We do a lot of audit cases. We do sophisticated tax audit cases. We represent clients. In the last 21 years, I've been representing 250 clients. We fight on tax cases. We won most of the cases. Also, I'd like to talk about ECA. This is one of the best organizations here in North Chinese. We've been organized so many activities. We have been a lot of good relationship with U.S. Government, with the Chinese government. We have help a lot of business. Manufacturer come to America to fund the manufacturing. So that's why I'm the current president, and you're welcome to join us. We have so many events going on. We have almost every week we have events. We also has my business. We have 5,000 business clients. We have 30,000 individual clients. So if you look for a job, it's very easy. We can hook up a job for you very easily. You know, so to find a job is not difficult, but how are you going to stay? Whether they're going to sponsor you, that's completely up to you. We set up a platform and how is you perform is completely up to you. If you want to do what I just said, jump on a lot of different jobs to your employees, nobody can sponsor. Nobody. The company cultures. Every company has their own culture. You need to adapt this culture as soon as you get a job. This is very important. Every business has their own unique way of doing business. You need to learn, you need to master, you need to work together with your team members. That's very important. Secondly, interpersonal relationship to me is number one. Yeah, I've been a professor at Shaw University for 10 years. I have students never studied, play around. And when I ask him to stand here in the podium to give a speech, those guys do an excellent job. Whereas I do have students working hard, studying hard. Once I ask him to come here to the podium and to do a speech, do not. So communication is very crucial to be a team player. We have clients walking every day. I see some of my employees, say hello. Some people didn't even say nothing. People walk in, your customer walk in, you see they do your work, you never say hi, you feels like you didn't know these people exist. You're not gonna get a sponsorship. Interpersonal skill, to me, the school you graduate from, make sure it's not so significant. No. I do have some students from Duke that do a great job, but it's not that significant to me. Whichever school you graduate, it's not bad. The second piece, you have to be sure that this company have to have you. Without you, they cannot do much. For example, in our company, if you're a CPA, you're a CPA license, you're definitely sponsored. So, professional licensing is one of the factors in definitely implementation. Some of the students, I have a lady who dealing with state tax. The people passed away, they leave a lot of assets. How are we going to handle this state taxation? So we sponsor H1B renewed developer 485 approved last week. So make sure you play a huge role in this business. Right? Not to be an average. Because when I was in China, before I come to America in year 1993, how many people were born after 1993? I was here in year 1993. When I walk on the street, I didn't see no Chinese students. Not at all. When I walked in the city, saw the city, I walked in a social security office. I said, I need my social security card. Nobody, 5 minutes, okay, here's your card. You receive your card in 5 days. They didn't ask you passport. They didn't ask you, any document. I got my green card in 2 years. They didn't do anything. So a lot of experience. I've been see a lot of changes. Their company size matters. Now there's a lot of American companies that's not sponsored. To be honest with you, because we have lawyers here. Sponsor somebody is dealing with a lot of legal men. Could be possibly mess you up real bad. Seriously. Some people say, I'm going to sue you. You didn't do right. Something you didn't do right. You didn't pay the tax right. I have evidence to sue you. You think somebody going to sponsor you? No, nobody going to sponsor. Nobody. And plus, if you leave this company, you find a new job. This new job, they can call us, say, how is this person performing? Bad. She's doing extremely bad. They're not behind. This is going to mess up your entire career. It will. So, government policy also is a huge role. Sometimes, H1B policy has been changed back and forth. a lot of people, yeah, I understand. I understand. We always have a passion, we know this is our Chinese students. It's very hard to find a job. So we are very tolerant. Every year my HR says, who is responsible? Everybody responsible, everybody. Because it didn't cost us much. Why not? We could help this person tremendously, whereas it does not cost us much. So we are very generous. We're very generous. Whereas we have issues that people abuse this program really bad. Somebody got a boyfriend in Seattle and left our company without transferring his per job. He didn't pay tax for over 20 clients, cost $500,000 economic loss, monetary loss. This is make us really mad. So you have to be a responsible person. Even if you want to resign, go ahead and transfer your job, finish job to somebody else. Don't cause company any economic damage. Fine. We understand that you want to look for a better job. You look for a big company. Yeah, I understand. But do not damage the employee. If you do that, the new employee, they're going to call you new employee. Your new employee is going to verify what this person performs. So if you mess up one company, you mess up everything. That's why it's so significant to be a responsible person, right? I do have people doing extremely well. Says, boss man, I'm ready to marry my girlfriend lives somewhere else. I give you 2 weeks notice. I transfer my job to someone else. Fine, you can do that. No problem. And I mentioned that some of the young women trust love, fall in love pretty quickly. I have one lady called Amy, do an excellent job in the job. And all one day said her girlfriend want to move back to China. She's in such big hurry and left our company in 3 days. Now, after she went back to China 3 years, she called me back and says, I'm so sorry, I want to come back. Because my boyfriend, I will not go with somebody else. And I sponsored her H-1B at that time. She was already approved. She is very confident that she wants to go back with her boyfriend, okay? So last year, she wants to come back. So no, we cannot do that. Cannot. So just so many lessons we learned, and be nice to the employer, be responsible, do a great job. Do a good job performance significant to you guys. Okay? Thank you, everybody. If you have any questions, contact me. Thank you.
Yeah, please just wait a moment, Mr. Niu. So we want to give a big thank you for you and the Triangle County, because your company is a very big sponsor for a lot of international students in recent years. And we do have a lot of cooperations with Triangle counties. So I think you just have mentioned and explained a lot of situations about how you feeling about those to work with those different kinds of international students. So just one more question is that, because I think a lot of new graduates, they just want to know that how can I get a the payment, the decent salary. So which kind of employee you as an employer want to pay them more?
Very easy. You do a great job so that I cannot do without you. Your position is important. That's significant. Also, be nice to your coworkers. Very nice. 情商要好。老板来了以后打个招呼，哎，张老板你好，老板，这样的话给人感觉很好。人家来了以后，你自己忙你自己事情，人家让你去这个打招呼你都不打，没人要，真的没人要。我在使用这个。
谢谢 ，Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, 老板牛. Yeah, I do remember in one interview that I'm an HR manager. So when I do an interview, I see someone, when I ask a question, like no feedback, poker face. Well, when you at casino, good, poker face. But when you at the interview, probably no, right? So I just have a great smile and then say hi. Hi, 老板牛, thank you a lot. Okay, so next we are honored to welcome a leader at the forefront of artificial intelligence and business innovation. Ranbing Dong is a serial entrepreneur and investor. He is the founder and CEO of Scale Social AI, where he focuses on leveraging AI to optimize business operations and enhance human productivity. He is also Duke University Scholar and the Gates Foundation Full Scholarship recipient, expert in scaling Fortune 50 startups and unicorns in AI and the digital health. Today, he will be discussing a topic that is becoming increasingly relevant to all industry, the future of work in the era of AGI. How will artificial general intelligence reshape jobs, skills, and the workforce? Let's hear from the expert in the field.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Great. So as I've come to learn, I am probably the most underdressed but over-prepared person here with the presentation slides. So bear with me. I swear it's going to be pretty casual. So when the organizing team reached out to me, they said, hey, you know what, we're putting together this event to encourage entrepreneurship, but specifically for women as well. That really perked up my interest. The reason behind this is because I come from technology and come from a venture background. Few people know this, but less than 5% of startups in the US are funded for women entrepreneurs. That's crazy, right? So you take all of the investments that go into startups, and then you segment it by minority and or racial background, and then you segment it further. So female, Asian entrepreneur. I don't know what that percentage is. It's not reported, but I bet it's very, very high fraction. So this is a very meaningful event, and I'd love to be a part of this. So the other question that was asked of me is, hey, can you share something about the future of work? And I'm like, well, what can I talk about? Since I'm in AI, I will talk about AI. So a quick background. I grew up in a small village in Fujian, China. I don't know how many of you know Fujian. It's like right across from Taiwan. My people open Chinese restaurants, okay? I grew up as a Chinese restaurant brat. I had the fortune to attend Duke on a full scholarship. I was also a first generation low income sort of student. And so Bill and Melinda Gates actually set up this foundation specifically focused on FGLI students many, many years ago. And still in existence, and I owe Duke so much because of that. So again, the reason I'm here is to give back. I spent over a decade in AI and digital health. So we built some of the earliest technologies around telemedicine. So President talk to a doctor, get drugs sent to your front door. AI, specifically artificial narrow intelligence. I'll go a little bit more into that. But as my time in corporate and startups evolved, I'm beginning to realize that actually, if you really want to make an impact, and especially an impact in cultivating the future generation, you have to be an investor, you have to be a business owner. And so I eventually made my way into real estate, F&B, e-commerce, and AI. So my experience with AI span all the way back to 2008. I was a high school student. I did my inaugural research as a part of Vanderbilt University's computational biology lab. And we were utilizing artificial neural networks to do drug research. So if you think about it conceptually, right? Drug research takes a very, very long time. There's a lot of wet lab involved, and there's a lot of costs involved. So the idea is, can I use technology and find out the right drug candidates that will be more appropriate for me to advance to the next level of actual testing? And so that was sort of my foray into artificial intelligence, and the technology back then wasn't great. I made my way in 2014 into IBM Watson. So how many of you know IBM Watson? Okay, that's great. Jeopardy, right? Early version of artificial narrow intelligence. So you ask it a question, it'll give you some response, right? Very straightforward. 2017, I had a chance to join Pager, which is a healthcare company, and we were able to build an AI-based triaging protocol for our nurses. So patients come into our technology, we're able to tell them specifically what they need. All of that fully automated. And then fast forward to today, 2024, I started my own company called Scale Social AI. We help businesses, restaurant owners, nail salon owners, gather content directly from customers, and we use AI to automatically turn that into a 30-second video and automatically publish across all social media platforms. Why? Because as a small business owner, I felt that social media marketing was very good. So that's what we're doing. So quick background on technology. I don't want to bore you. This is grossly simplified, but if you think about a neuron cell, right? There's an input, there's an output, right? How artificial neural networks are designed is exactly that. You have many inputs coming in. There's a weighting system. There's an aggregate that sort of determines what gets weighed how much, and then there's a design output, right? So it's a very linear system. If you think about this compounded over a network, then it's many, many, many inputs, many, many intermediaries, and many, many outputs. Makes sense, right? Pretty straightforward. The idea behind neural network evolution is very similar to Charles Darwin, survival of the fittest, natural evolution.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So over many generations, the algorithm performs better, right? So case in point, this is a very early example. You can deploy a neural network to play Super Mario, right? It's a very easy case because there's a very specific win condition, right? You know exactly how to win. And so you define that, and basically you run hundreds of thousands of simulations, and it's a trial and error. And over every single generation of that algorithm, it gets better and better and better and better. Again, it's easy because there's a certain output. And you know exactly what that output is, but guess what? Life is not like that. Right? You don't have a clear endpoint for life or for everyday problems. And so in 2017, there was this seminal paper that came out. How many of you actually are interested in AI, by the way?
Yeah, we are all.
Okay. How many of you are students? Great. Okay, this is going to be super relevant for you. So 2017 was a big year because ChatGPT is based on this model. DeepSeek is based on this model. The fundamental difference between the generations of AI that came before it versus now is you have a relational network. It's not linear, right? It's like every single people in this room, there's not a clear endpoint as to how we relate to each other, but we can tell how we're related, right? And that over and compounded over a network allows you to ask very deep and contextual questions and get very relevant answers back. So I think we're at a very interesting time in our lives where a few things are happening. One, AI agents are here. I use my AI agent every single day, right? It is extremely efficient. In fact, we have AI agents built as a part of our company culture, and they are essentially our coworkers. Number two, I didn't say this, Sam Altman, who founded OpenAI said that, right? The cost of intelligence is decreasing by 10 times every single year. It's going to be cheaper and cheaper to utilize these tools. DeepSeek, again, great example. Everyone freaked out. $600 billion got wiped off the stock market for one day. Number three, there's an explosion of embedded AI and also full automation. Again, we see examples of this today. In fact, my company is an example of that. You think about all the Y Combinator startups that are funded, same idea. And so ultimately, the control over these resources is control of ultimate power, right? So the race is on. That's why the US and China are competing in this regard. Now, if you look into the investment landscape, again, I'm not going to bore you with details. Lots of new investments made into the space. Look at all these companies across all of these verticals, along with many, many more The idea here is singular. There are verticalized AI agents being developed for every single use case you can imagine. I run an AI automation agency. I don't talk about it much, but we work with, for example, law firms that want to fully automate their paralegals work or build a junior associate that can perform on par with a human associate. And we'll talk about the implications of that, right? But again, lots of companies work on these problems. Now, this is my son. This is the effect I wanted to do. He's extremely cute. Being a father changes a lot of things. Being a father makes me think about what that future looks like more deeply, because it's not about me anymore, right? And so when I thought about building this presentation, I actually wanted to contextualize it in the form of what does it mean for my son when he's 18, when he's applying to Duke and get rejected, right? And what we know already, and will probably accelerate over the next, it's not even a decade, next 2 years. Number one, the cost of high-skilled labor is decreasing. So my company, we charge businesses $500 for what they otherwise would be charged $5,000 to $10,000. Right? We're automating a lot of things. Number two, inherently scarce resources are going to be extremely valuable. So I don't know if you've seen headlines of Bill Gates buying hundreds of thousands of acres of farmland. And you sometimes wonder, why would they do that? Because land is scarce. It is not replaceable, right? So when you think about your resources, think about what resources are renewable and replaceable and what resources are not. And that's going to be defining how the next, 5-10 years. I do think there's going to be an introduction of a new inequality. Those who have resources and access to AGI and those who don't, right? It could be an awareness issue, could be a knowledge issue, it could be a training issue, it could also be a cost issue, but I think cost is not going to be a big barrier. And four, we're all going to be asking, what am I doing? I ask this all the time. So when I think about my son, I want him to be a good person, all of the attributes like that comes with being a good human being and guided by the moral compass. But like when I think about the top 4 qualities I want to see in my son, and I'm going to be spending my entire life cultivating, is I want him to be intensely optimistic. I want him to be driven by the why. I want him to be creatively utilizing all the resources that's going to be made available to him, all the tools. It's not going to be shy of it. And number 4, I know this is a bit of a joke, but what my wife and I talk about it. Maybe being a plumber is pretty good. I don't see AGI replacing the plumbing job. Or electrician. Blue collar is going to be a really, really interesting time. I mean, you guys already see it. Company have hired plumber recently. Very expensive.
Yeah.
But what about future employers, right? So I'm an employer. I think about my future employees in this format. I want to look for someone who's inherently creative and original, because that's going to be the defining characteristic of a great super employee, right? Or a super agent, or a super associate, or a super they want that, right? I want that person to be able to adopt, learn, and deploy tools very quickly. So the ability to learn and utilize these resources, very important. I want that person to be able to be very flexible in the way you think. There are many ways to solve a problem. How many ways do you find? What is the most efficient path towards that? And how do you try and experiment and test and get data back quickly so you can move to the next step? Right? We're taught the scientific method at elementary school. Crazy. I honestly think that is the most foundational thing that anyone can learn. Right? Design an experiment, put a hypothesis, gather data, got that flipped, but anyway, gather data, and then you iterate, right? You form a new hypothesis. That whole thing applies to life. That's the way I see it. That's the way I see startups. That's the way I see businesses. And last but not least, leadership skills, right? So Mr. New or Boss New had mentioned this earlier, right? Can you bring people together towards a common vision? Because, well, unfortunately, I don't think the machines can do that. The machines will do a lot of the work, but we need someone to orchestrate the resources. And that requires you to be able to convince people. So in the same lens, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you need to be an opportunist. You need to see an opportunity and pounce on it, right? Which means you need to take risks and act, which means you need to be able to tell a good story. You need to be an inherent marketer. The machines won't do your job in marketing. In fact, I think in the next 2 to 3 years, because of the proliferation of all the tools, business owners need to do an even better job at marketing their business. Because getting a customer is going to be way, way more difficult. I don't know how many of you are business owners, but if you are, you probably get a lot of AI-generated scam emails and AI-generated phone calls. Those channels are dead. So how can I reach a customer and have a very authentic relationship? So again, relationships matter. And also just being human. So final thoughts. Let me do a quick survey. Is this meaningful, relevant to you guys?
Yeah.
Okay, great. How long do you think I spent on this presentation?
Just a minute.
Oh. 10 minutes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so I would say.
That was really good.
Yeah.
So 2 minutes.
Oh, okay.
2 minutes for this thing to come out, but about 10 minutes for me to put the structure. Right? So the thought needs to be there. Like, I want you to tell this story. Here's how the story should flow. And then the rest is done. And more.
Yeah.
And there are other tools. There are tools you can put your outline into, and they'll give you a presentation. There are tools you can, yes. So I built my own GPT assistant that serves me, that knows everything about me and my business. Right? So it's customized, which the context is everything. If GPT doesn't know about the context, it's going to generate content that's too generic. Right? So that was an upfront investment that we deliberately made, but that GPT is serving everyone on the team. We were able to operate at a scale of a large agency.
哦呦，这话你要不补啊？
I'm a marketer today. I'll never leave a presentation without a call to action. So I'll talk about something that we put together. And I think this is going to be relevant. I organize a hiking group on Saturdays. I see some of our members here, so thank you for coming. Through the hikes, I began to realize that there are a lot of students that get a wonderful education at Duke and elsewhere. They're international students. Yet there's this hesitation and fear about what is next. I created a nonprofit early this year to focus on that particular problem. We're working with the state of North Carolina. We're working with Duke, many departments within Duke. We're working with some local community members. The idea is, can I vet a cohort of students, undergraduate and graduate students, put them in a team? These are tech teams, if you think about it, and deploy them, match them to a startup, solve meaningful problems, allow the startup to really build a relationship with the students so that they will feel much more compelled to actually hire them and then to sponsor them. And we're working with lawyers on the side to figure out the legal of that, right? And so if you're interested, you can connect with me on LinkedIn. You can join the list. That's what our nonprofit is called. And then you can learn a little bit more about what we're doing at Scale Social and also what we're doing at downtown Durham specifically. Because the way I think about it is if we can retain the talent in this area, students and otherwise, and deploy them on very meaningful problems, they will have a natural inclination to stay. That's the future I want for my son. I don't want him to get an education and go to Silicon Valley again, right? Like North Carolina or RTP should be a place where people want to come back to. We came back. I was in Hong Kong. It was great. But when we thought about starting a family, this was it. And so why can't we build a vibrant ecosystem? So that's my call to action. If you have any questions, I'm happy to connect offline. Thank you so much.
Please just wait a minute. We still have a question for you.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. Okay, we know that as an AI expert, and then we know that the AI are merging into our life, and a lot of new graduates think that if I'm equipped with AI skills, maybe I will have more opportunity than others. So sometimes they will list tons of the AI skills on their resume, but without some really specific project or internship experience. How do you manage that?
That's exactly what we're doing. So on that point, right, I think skill sets are going to be less valued over time. This may not be a popular opinion. I think how you solve problems and show evidence of how you solve it is going to be the ultimate test. And so for the list, we're pairing students with corporates, with startups. It's going to be a cohort-based system. You go through the program. At the end of that program, you stand on the stage and you pitch your project just like how you would pitch your own startup. And we will record that whole thing for you. That recording, if you send it to any employer, should speak for your work, not a resume. Well, resume helps, but it's not going to be the predominant way. Like you have to figure out a way to stand out. It's a very noisy world now, right? So.
Thank you so much. I think maybe in the future, we both can have a lot of discussions and opportunities to cooperate with each other to help those young graduates. Do you all enjoy everything so far? Did you learn a lot? Okay, cool. So talking about blue collars and the plumbers, I didn't mention that because this sponsor is actually in Virginia. That's why I didn't mention. But we have a sponsor, Blue Ridge Elite Academy. They actually teach people on home improvement. All right, they do offline, online classes as well. So if you're interested, their flyers outside, you can find their information there. Yeah, okay. So for our next keynote speaker, we're excited to welcome Shreya Goram, the founder and the CEO of StatLogics, with a strong background in logistics and business operations. She has successfully built a company that streamlines supply chain efficiency and enhances industry standards. Her keynotes, Breaking Barriers, empowering the next generation of leaders through a service-driven approach, will focus on how leadership, innovation, and a commitment to service can drive meaningful change and open doors for future professionals. So let's join me in welcoming Shreya.
Thank you. My name is Shreya Goram. And if I could tell you anything about myself, it is the consistency of the message in the room today. It is resiliency. It is resiliency. I as a biracial kid growing up in Baltimore was that I had to be determined, I had to be disciplined, and I had to be focused. And that's consistent with the message for today. Formerly an educator and a social worker, transitioning into transportation, all because an employer mistreated me. True story. I was teaching elementary school, came to North Carolina to do grad school, started driving trucks to help pay for grad school, and an employer mistreated me. So we have a policy that I live by, and I actually grew up with. And one is that you don't have the right to disrespect me, and I don't have the right to disrespect you. We can agree to disagree on everything and anything, but at the end of the day, we can do it with kindness and respect, right? So StatLogics is about 13 years in the making. I started out in a Toyota Prius working grad school. But before I go any further and tell you more about me, I want to take a moment to just acknowledge my partners in this journey. First and foremost, my author of my destiny, Baba Mangu. And I would be remiss without thanking this couple here, my partner, my friend, David Murphy and Kelly Murphy. 35 years of UPS management and routing. Yane Kalumba, my executive assistant in HR, she works tirelessly for me, making sure that everything is what we need when we need it. I can tell you it's no easy job. Caitlin Kazuko, the Director of Accounts Receivable. Gail Jones, the Director of Domestic and International Booking, 35 years in cargo and international booking all around the world. Glenn and Marilyn Vick of Harmony Logistics, they operate and manage our RDU market. So that's everything from Durham up to Greensboro. Everything from Greensboro down to Fayetteville. And this man here, Steve New, he started out with me when I was just a baby in the industry. I had no clue what I was doing. And someone said, go to Triangle Accounting and they'll help you. I went to Triangle Accounting. And not only did they help me, he took me to dinner and fed me while he helped me again and again and again to build that relationship. So Steve talked about relationships and making sure that you're a person of your word. I left Steve's firm because we had some accounting and financial issues that we had to settle as we transitioned into our new state as StatLogics. But I'll tell you that the moment we were back up and running, he was the first one I called. Why? Because he knows me, I trust him, and I know that he's going to tell me whether I like it or not, what's right or wrong. Sometimes the information we get doesn't necessarily feel good right away. StatLogics, who are we? We are a Homeland Security freight forwarder specializing in time-critical shipments. What is time-critical shipments? Anything with a short shelf life, such as a cancer medication that our AI professional talked about, transplant organs, aircraft parts for a plane that's grounded, anything requiring dedicated transport. When do we operate? Time critical says 24/7, 365, rain, hail, sleet, or snow. The operations don't stop. The hospitals don't close, and neither do we. Where do we ship? Domestically and internationally. How would you know? Well, think about the times that you're in an urgent care and you're sitting there. They've drawn your labs, but you're still sitting there. Well, someone like us gets called. We go out, we grab your lab, we take it over to a processing center, and we get it processed for you. All of our drivers are STA and TSA certified. This is a requirement in order for us to stay compliant whenever we need to move freight around the world via our commercial aircrafts. Why do we exist? Post 9/11, shippers using commercial cargo space have to have Homeland Security clearance as an IAC or an indirect air carrier, ensuring that all packages are screened and vetted according to U.S. Customs and Homeland Security standards. This is a process and 2 years worth of work to earn that seal. I will tell you that it's no easy feat, and I thank this man over here every single day, because without him, it couldn't have happened. We are only one of 3 people in the nation that are independently owned, that own that seal. I am only one biracial female in the industry that independently owns that seal. And that's because of dedication and hard work and being true to my word and true to the people that trust me. Overcoming challenges in life has tested me in every way, but I've learned that challenges are stepping stones. So don't be intimidated by them. Don't let your failures call you to fall back or quit or give up hope. Breaking barriers is about the next generation looking back. While everyone's going forward with AI, and I'm not against it, I use it. I'm going to talk to the gentleman afterwards. But while everybody's going forward, we cannot remove the human component. That's what connects us back with our customers. That face-to-face, where they get to see you and look in your face and know that you care and that you're interested. That goodie box that says, you know, here's a snack just to help you along in your day. Life's most persistent and urgent question remains today. What are you doing for others? 7 ways to stand out in any market. Embrace the human factor. People are our greatest asset. Our AI gentleman even mentioned it as he stated that while we're building AI, we have to also remember that AI is interlinking and interrelational. So it too recognizes that it needs relationships. How much more for the human community? Leadership is not about being in charge. It's about taking charge of those you're in charge of, giving them the hope, letting them see you know how to do the work. Building diverse relationships, connecting with those who challenge your norms. Diversity is being invited to the party. Inclusion is being asked to dance. But I challenge you that sometimes you may get up and dance alone. Pursue common goals, uniting for success across differences. Alone, we can do so little. Together, we can do so much. Be a mentor. Share your knowledge. Even what you have now as a student, someone else in the community doesn't know yet. You don't know what you don't know until you know it. And I promise you, someone needs what you have. A good leader leads people from above them. A great leader leads people from within them. We go into our communities. We reach out. We touch people. We let them know that we care. That means that our businesses aren't just businesses. Our businesses are always looking for how we can serve our communities in an extension of what we take from it on a daily basis.
adapt to change. Flexibility is key. Everybody's in an uproar about our government right now and our elections and diversity, inclusion, and all of those things. Change is the end result of true learning. Keep learning, always keep seeking growth and development, authentic, diverse collaborations. The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read, write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. I told you at the top, I started as an elementary school teacher. I transformed and metamorphosed into a social worker, then a truck driver, a student, and now a business owner. Your call to action. I implore you today to commit to being the change maker, fearlessly creating the change you wish to see. As small business owners, that's all we did. We started a business because we saw a problem. I got into transportation because I was told that it was okay for me to be called out of my name, that I was the problem, and that I was overreacting. Small businesses are 47% of the workforce. So we are the majority. Despite what anyone wants to tell you, we are the majority. Diversity and equity and inclusion, I ask you to look around right now, to your left, to your right, and behind you, please. Look around. I see diversity. I see equity, and I see inclusion. None of us look alike. None of us come from the same communities. None of us talk alike, speak the same languages, may even be from some of the same communities, but don't think alike. This is how we build diversity, equity, and inclusion. One person at a time. I challenge you to continue to reach across the aisles and lock hands with someone that doesn't look like you, think like you, or even speak your language. Thank you.
Thank you so much, dear. And I think we also want to ask you some questions. Yeah, but to be honest, you make this very hard because a lot of questions I want to ask, you just answered. So, someone else, you want to ask some questions for Shia?
What was the transition like going from industry to industry? I'm a banker by trade, and so technically we will not give a loan if someone changes their career path, but we make an exception because if you are an expert and an organizer, then you can get jobs. So it sounds a lot to me like when you would transition jobs, that you would transfer skill sets to what would that like within industries.
I always use the butterfly effect as my analogy. And if any of you know anything about the butterfly, when it's metamorphosizing and it's coming out of its cocoon, it has to wrestle and fight. But if you top it, it dies automatically because you've taken away its ability to build that muscle. So over time, I've had to begin to build the muscle of, this is going to be hard, but it's going to be okay. Not everybody's going to agree with me or see my vision, but I'm going to stay focused. I look back at all the people that were behind me and that failed miserably multiple times, and I was like, okay, they're no different than me. And that's the thing. We are the majority. Society says in all of our local governments, I don't care what community, nation you're from, all of our local governments say we're the minority if you're not a part of the 1%. But we're the majority. We just haven't learned that we need to do this. We need to do this.
Yes? Yeah. Please take a picture of us. Thank you very much. I think there's another one interesting. Sure. Yeah. Your question?
Yeah, I do. So, what's the biggest challenge did you have in the past years, or probably in your life, and what did you do to overcome it?
My biggest challenge has been and continues to be that despite my education, despite my skill set, despite my references, despite my proven track record, bankers still look at me as a liability. That is my biggest challenge.
So, what have you been doing to?
So we've been doing crowdfunding with our business owners, and I did something that most people would probably never consider doing, but I sold everything, and I believed in myself. We go to work and we work 12-hour jobs for 15, 16, and 17 hours a day for 2 weeks on the hopes of that one paycheck. But what happens when that company closes its doors and don't tell you until they've locked the doors and that paycheck doesn't come? You've invested in them. So I say invest in yourself, because I worked for a company like that. And if it wasn't for the fact that I had family and friends that supported me, I don't know how I would have gotten through that season.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes. Thank you.
I hope you have been enjoying today's discussion and take away valuable insights today. And now we will move to our next part, is the most exciting segment, the panel discussion. So yeah, we'll invite all the panelists coming front. Yeah, you can see we have 5 speakers in this part. And so in the first beginning, I will let them to introduce themselves. And then we have some questions for each of them. And then later, we open the Q&A part, so you still can, okay, yeah, we have 2 ways. One is text to message to the number here, 571-653-9769. So I will receive your question here. And then after they have the answer all the questions, maybe you can still just in person, just stand out and we'll raise your hand and let them know what's your question. Okay? Yeah. Okay, let's invite all the speakers. Yeah, please. Yeah. Echo. Okay. Let's have a seat. Yeah, center. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm Bopen, and I'm the president of AAWEA and entrepreneur coach. And in this part, I will be the MC of this discussion session. This session is designed to be interactive, engaging, and practical. We will explore some of the most pressing questions shaping today's job market, career development, and entrepreneurship. And okay, so we are privileged to have an outstanding panel of experts join us today, representing diverse fields including law, AI, investment, HR, and entrepreneurship. Each of them bring us a unique perspective on navigating career growth, adapting to workplace changes, and presenting yourself for success. So let us get started. So the first, I will invite each of our panelists to briefly introduce themselves, and then we will jump into the discussion. So how about let us start from Echo?
Sure, thank you. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
My name is Echo King. 中文叫金美生律师. I'm an immigration attorney, practicing in Orlando, Florida for over a decade, focusing on a very special niche, investment immigration. I will talk more about that later, but I have been practicing that for over a decade. And 3 years ago, I switched sides. Before, I was helping investors to submit their application to get green cards. But now I'm on the other side. I am the basically, how do I say that? That's the developer side, like management of the developer. So if you, it's also a part of the immigration, but from the attorney, I'm not representing the investor anymore. I'm representing more like representing the developer side. So, it's very interesting experience for me to change, to have a full spectrum understanding of this whole industry. Thank you. Oh, I have a project. We have a development project here in Raleigh, North Carolina. Raleigh here. That's why I came here quite often. I have made some good friends here. Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, Fiona.
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Fiona Wang. I'm also an attorney, but I had a kind of similarities with Attorney King was that I used to practice immigration law and also EB-5 when I first fresh out of law school. That was my first job, and I will maybe share more experiences. But my boss at that time, she was also an attorney, and then she kind of like had the same idea as what Attorney King is doing right now, is to develop their vertical EB-5 immigration program. But then I started my own law firm back in 2017. My personal interest was focusing on like real estate and estate planning. So I transitioned my legal practice from immigration law to real estate and estate planning. And nowadays my law firm is focusing on helping the immigrants to do the investment and the real estate, and also to help them to plan their business succession and the estate plan.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, my name is 国良曹，中文就是曹国良，然后我的职业是做IT professional，我做软件开发大概有个20多年吧。然后我现在的主要的兴趣是在 AI，我的兴趣大概就是从2016年开始，2016年可能有的人听说过，就是这个 AI 的I guess I should speak in English. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, in 2016, AlphaGo beat the Go champion Licedo, and so my interest in AI started at that time. I started to learn deep learning, and from 2022, I started to focus on large language models, and also I spent a lot of time learning to use AI tools to program. So that's my interest. I don't not consider myself a very strong expert in those areas because I'm self-taught, but I think it's still I learned a lot. So last year I worked with several friends to start a non-profit organization called the Research Triangle AI Society. So in about 6 or 7 months, we organized over 15 webinars and meetups and workshops, and we attracted a lot of interest. Actually, I will talk about that a little more later. So I just want to thank you, and it's an honor to be here.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
My name is Xinlu. I introduce a little bit about myself, more on the AAWEA side. I actually have a mixed background. I graduated with a master's degree that's in actuarial science and risk management. I also have background in finance. And with all my career paths, I actually done a lot of sales and marketing. And now I focus more on operations, and I do like HR hirings a lot. So I am currently the HR manager at GNC Medical Technology. We are a company have over 600 employees there. And I'm also a business consultant at Maiden Biosciences, which is also a healthcare medical company. I'm also the CEO of Global Supply Network. So my true passion, and also I don't give a lot of my time in AAWEA as a nonprofit, because I really interested in people, in human, because it's really interesting in see how different people react in different situations. And right now we are at a new era. It's not really like in the previous ones. So a lot of our soft skills and a lot of many our guest speakers already mentioned. So it's leadership, communication. So that's the part I really like. And those can really help to fill in the gap between the organizational potential, organizational goal, and human potential. Okay, thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Kelly Zhou, 中文名是周瑞杰, and I'm the CEO of the GDI Tech and also the AAWEA's marketing director. And it's very honored to be the one of the part of that. And so for today, I just want to listen more and learn more and speak less. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. Yeah, so we've gathered some of the most pressing questions from our audience. And one of the most frequently asked topic is about immigration and work organization for international students. A concern that affects many students as they plan for their careers after graduation. So this question is for Attorney Echo King. Yeah. As the legal expert specializing in immigration and business law, you've worked with many international students and professionals navigating the complexity of U.S. immigration policies. So one major concern is that even the most talented students struggle to find jobs if they don't have a green card, let alone start a business. So given the challenges of work organization and visa sponsorship, what practical steps should international students take before graduation to secure their work eligibility and legal status in the U.S.?
Thank you for the question. Before I dive into that, I want to share a story, just what happened before I came here. Two of my investors, they came visit me in Orlando. They started the immigration EB-5 process way back in 2015, but because of the long waiting period, they just got their conditional green card now, and then they just got into the country, U.S., and their son, the mom, we had dinner together, and the mom was in tears, thanking me. Because their son was in Boston attending as dental school, dental hygienist, I believe. And he very, very, exceptionally smart kid, hardworking. But the last year he was in a deep depression because at that time they didn't have green card. And he was, he was trying to, apply for a dental school. We all know after dental school they can get, pretty promising career and well-paid jobs. But he was trying really hard to get all straight A's. But if you don't have green card, the dental school will be extremely hard to get in. They don't want, basically they don't really hire. They don't really. If they don't enroll the international students. So, and their visa, they're waiting for the visa for years. And his son even wanted to give up on the study, go back.
But fortunately, right at that time, his mom is so worried. But around that time, they just got the green card approved. So it's what a big relief. And his mom was like so happy. And he said his son, the mental state completely changed. Right now, it's like complete relief, doesn't have to worry about future, doesn't have to worry about if he can stay here or not. He said, all the money they invested is worth it because if you're dentist after you practice, right, it's really high. I mean, within a couple of years, you can get the money, the investment back. So, and also it's like his life, like his life is so many, has more options basically. As a parent, the mom told me, as a parent, as mom, I work so hard, I make money because I want to get my children a better option so she can, that's all they want. So the reason I'm saying share the story with you is, unfortunately, if you want to live in this country, if you want to have a good future, if you want to have a dream, basically, you need to have a status, legal status. And lots of employers, I think the boss knew, New Laban shared before. Employers, they are for H-1B visas, right? You need to have H-1B visa to actually stay and then work. But a lot of employers, some employers, mostly employers, they are hesitant to apply H-1B for international students for various reasons. Because H-1B, we all know, we have a lottery system, and then right now the approval, the lottery system, you get lucky, like less than 20% will get picked. So basically, a majority of the students will not get H-1B visa that year. So for employer, what that means translate into that you spend months of training on that person, on the applicant, but toward the end, they can't legally work here. So that's a dilemma. I have a client, investor who is Harvard graduate. I tell the story to my investors that Harvard law graduate. She couldn't even get an interview. I think HR probably knows that. It's for lots of companies. You design the interview questionnaire. If you're international, if you need to get sponsored your visa, you don't even you can't even get to the next page. So she was stopped. She's exceptionally smart kid, very bright kid, but just stopped before they can't even get interview. Luckily, she also get her green card. Now she is, she has a bright future ahead of her. So that's why when we talk about future, we talk about the job and then your development. A lot of times in life, it's really opportunity. Like you have visa, you have your green card, and you have a lot of a wide door open for you. So I just want to share this as a decade-long immigration attorney. My experience is that if you have this opportunity, seek it, and then especially in the U.S., it's like if you go to an exciting journey without passport, you can't go overseas. So this is just like that. With the green card, you have a lot more opportunities waiting for you. Thank you.
Okay, good. Yes. Thank you so much. There has been a lot of discussion recently about the golden window for fast-tracking green cards, especially under the 2022 policy change. So could you explain what this window means for international students and why it's critical to take action now?
That's very, very important question. I'm glad you asked. The example, that story I shared before, the parents that waited a long time, that was back in 2015, right? Before 2014, there was no such a thing as a retrogression waiting time. So basically, everybody who invested at that time was $500,000. You get green card right away, like within a year or 6 months, you get green card. But because so many Chinese investors are interested in this, too many investors, and then only have a 10,000 visa per year worldwide. So in China, they started to have a line to wait for the visa to become current. And that time, become longer and longer, from 2 years to 3 years to right now it's 10 years. But in 2022, end of 2022, Congress just passed a new law. It's very, very good. If you invest in certain area, the project, then you will get we call it fast track green card. So you basically surpass everybody in the line, you go before them, in front of them. You have no line. So that's when, we call it golden age again. Right now, EB5 investors will have no waiting period, very, very fast. You can get work permit, basically, work permit within 3 to 6 months. That's extremely, so you don't have to worry about H-1B anymore. You get work visa, work permit in 3 months. And then you get green card right now, it's a year and a half. So it's very, it's golden opportunity. But again, just like back in 2014, this window opportunity is quickly closing, meaning that lots more of so many Chinese investors are interested in this program. And then there's only for a rural project, only 2,000 visa per year available, translating into 300, maybe 300 or 200 families. And after that, will be long line again. You have to wait for 5, 6, even 10 years again. And this period of window, we expect will be, either, I don't know, optimistically maybe end of the year, but a lot more people will think, experts think that will be, for the summer, we'll start the waiting time again. So that's what I just want to share with everybody. And if anybody know that friends or family who in needs of this green card or work permit or graduating soon, need to consider this.
Yeah. So anybody has question for Tony King? Okay, yeah, you may think about it more. Okay, thank you, Tony King, for those valuable insights on immigration and career planning. Securing work authorization is just one part of the equation. The next challenge is staying competitive in an evolved job market, especially with the rapid rise of AI. Okay, yeah. So AI is one of the most disruptive force in today's job market, and while it creates exciting opportunities,
不敢动啊，弄坏了啊
among students and early career professionals who worry about job security. Many people ask, will AI take my job? How do I stay competitive in an AI-driven workforce? So this question is for Mr. Guo Liangchao. So as the co-founder and the president of the research Triangle AI Society, you have been deeply involved in AI community and its development. Can you share your insight on how AI is shaping the job market and what students should do today to future-proof their careers?
Okay, thank you. So I guess it's a better use of your time if I just read my answers, because I'm not good with talking my brain. Okay. So I did ask this question. So I will give you 3 advices from ChatGPT, but I will also give you an advice from myself. So that's how I use AI. So I always I use AI as a tool, but I will try to refurnish whatever it gives me. So the 3 advices ChatGPT gives me. So first, you need to develop strong medical skills. So whether you're in software development, business, or healthcare, understanding AI concepts and programming languages like Python will give you a competitive edge. So even if you are not in a technical role, being AI literate will make you more valuable in any field. So that's the first advice. So always try to learn something about AI. So secondly, embrace lifelong learning and adaptability. So AI is evolving in an unprecedented pace. So staying updated is crucial. So take all courses, read research papers, and experiment with AI tools. That's how you can keep up with AI. And those who are continuous learn and adapt will always stay ahead of the curve. So I guess this applies to not just AI. In any field, deep learning is very important. Third, so the portfolio. So I think employers find hands-on contributed to open source projects, join the competitions, and showcase your work on platforms like GitHub or personal blogs. So those real-world problem-solving experience is what truly demonstrates your expertise. So work on some projects. That's the other advice. So finally, it's advice from myself. So it's like I'm the founder, like co-founder and the president of Research Triangle AI Society. I would encourage everyone to join our organization. We have a WeChat group, and we about 400 members right now. In that WeChat group, we discuss a lot of things related to AI. So they are like researchers, professionals in the industry, and also they are amateurs, and they are like newbies as well. So all people are welcome to join the our organization. But like this is not the only organization you can join. You can actually join any organization to learn, and also you can form your own study group. So what is important is so just don't do it alone. So if you want to learn something, find some like-minded people and learn it together with those. So if you guys want to join us, we can always reach out to. You can always reach out to me after this event. Also, I believe the organizer can share my contact info, like our websites, etc. with you guys, and you guys can follow up. So that's my advice.
Yeah, thank you. I've been in this group for a few days. It's really dynamic group. Everyone talk there, share their opinion with AI, right? And but today we have more student audience. So how students can leverage this kind of network to stay ahead in an AI-powered world?
Okay, now I have to talk on top of my head now. So how students can leverage, I guess AI will transform the world, and so don't let the fog is fear, uncertainty, and doubt to distract you from what you are thinking about AI. So it's really going to be here changing everything. So if you need to embrace it, no matter what you do, there's no basically for everyone. So you just have to stay up to date and try to embrace it, try to learn as much as you can. And I would say when you're in the market, you just have to also consider all the options, not just find a job, you can probably find something yourself. You can work with your friend, because I think this job market is getting very competitive for everyone. So I think everyone has to think about those different options. Not say and not just say it's bad, but it's just we have to face the reality and try to embrace it. That's my suggestion.
Thank you, Mr. Go Liang. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so AI is also making the human-centered skills like communication, adaptability, and emotional intelligence more valuable than ever. So that brings us another critical challenge that many young professionals face. That is, how can I improve my communication and leadership skills when seeing out things that you can simply learn from a textbook, right? Developing these soft skills requires intentional practice, self-awareness, and ability to truly connect with others. So this question is for Xinlu Huang. And as an HR leader and a workplace culture expert, you've worked close with professionals at different career stages. What's your perspective on the most effective ways for young professionals to develop communication and other essential soft skills in today's workplace?
Thank you for the question. Well, we've been mentioning about communication multiple times by all the speakers already. So this question, like how can we build communication skills, right? A lot of people think if I can speak better, then I can communicate better. But actually the truth is, well, evolution gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, right? So instead of really speak better, the key is how can we listen better? There are a lot of techniques that you can find like about active listening, the importance in communication. But we can simplify that into just 3 steps. It's all about what, how, why, right? So the first step we listen is what is said. So it's the word itself. So you listen to their sentences. And the second step is how they said it. Then it involves your body languages, a lot of emotions, many things that you need to sense about how they are speaking the word. And the most important is the why. The why are they saying that? So this is the key that we need to really figure out the underlying points that is the unspoken word. Well, just give an example. I see that a lot in workforce. Okay, so maybe someone's being assigned for a project. And then you're gonna probably ask them, oh, do you need any help? And they will say, I'm fine doing that by myself. Well, some people say, okay, then if you're fine, then good. Okay, I'm leaving. I'll see you tomorrow, right? But the thing is, if you can actually observe a little bit more when he says, I'm fine, but this body language is not really fine. But he's trying to, he's not admitting that I'm not fine. I'm overwhelmed already. Okay, I may need some support. I just don't want to admit it. Okay, I want to show my ability. So, well, easily you can say, okay, if you need any help, just let me know. Okay, this is already simplified. It's better than just say, okay, thank you, bye-bye, right? But if we can say a little bit more sincere, like this, okay, oh, well, I see your dedication in this project, and I really appreciate you put a lot of effort into it. But if you ever need any, a set of extra help, just let me know. I'll be more than happy to support. Okay, so after a active listening, you can figure out what's the unspoken word and their real need. Everything, every sentences, everything they say come with a need. So if you can identify the need and then giving a feedback, well, that's another topic. I'm not going to say that too much. Well, there's positive feedbacks, negative feedbacks. Well, just giving some feedback to provide reinforcement. In the previous answer, you're not really forcing to help. Sometimes forcing to help doesn't work in the workplace, right? Because it's teamwork. It's also about independent working as well. So it's listening and the feedbacks. It's quite easy in communication. But it's just easy, said than done. It's really involved a lot of practice. And more importantly is about self-awareness. Because sometimes I didn't realize that. And you yourself didn't realize your underlying needs before you speak something. So that will cause really miscommunication, conflict, and then I will say, oh, I don't mean it. Why did I say that, right? You kind of regret. So we think, right, before, so we listen more. As Kelly said, well, you're on this panel, you cannot just listen more. You need to provide some golden messages, right? So we listen, we think, and then we provide with positive feedbacks. That's the key in the communication. Yes.
Yes. So as you mentioned, emotions and deeper personal needs play a key role in the workplace communication. And the new generation of professionals also places a strong emphasis on self-expressions. But when personal identity and workplace culture come into conflict, how can they effectively manage stress and regulate their emotions while still striving professionally?
Yes, right. You know, in the workforce, you may be being assigned for a job that's belong to you or not belong to you. Okay, maybe your other teammates are placing their, part of work onto you. It's not really like your job, but they are maybe a little bit senior than you, or maybe your supervisor. So how you react? Or you like suppress your emotion, you just don't say and you just do it? Or it actually not in just workforce, in life, a lot of times it happens, okay? You've been assigned something that you don't really like, or this is not really your emotion, or actually you want to do something, but the job didn't assign to you, okay? Or you also want to keep quiet, or you want to, argue for that. So a lot of time it's all about emotion because it's the underlying need and our emotion. How do we not really control? I don't like to say the word control our emotion because I don't know. Well, back to some scientific law. Okay, that's the law of conservation of energy. So it's energy never like they won't appear or they won't destroy. It can only transfer from one form to the other. Okay, every emotion comes with a energy. Okay, if you can Google some, emotion, I think it's the emotion guidelines scale or the emotion energy scale. They will show you each emotion comes with a energy. Okay, some positive emotions like happiness, joy, appreciation, courage. A lot of things they come with positive energy. But other emotions maybe like, okay, I feel anger, guilty, disappointment, or like you feel like I'm useless. A lot of those emotions come with negative energy. But it's not like really like good emotion comes with positive energy or like bad emotion. It's not a good, bad in emotion, okay? Emotion is a messenger. They're the alarm system, okay? Well, in the enemy, in the war, you don't shoot the messenger, okay? It's not solving the problem. 我们是不杀来使，对吧? Okay, you don't shoot the messenger. We open the package and we see what's inside it and we need to solve the problem. So it's behind the emotion. What does that really mean? Okay, so back to that law, okay, the energy, they won't like disappear. So if you control your emotion, you're actually suppressing your emotion. Okay, they're not gone. It's still there. Energy is still there. Then what can happen? Guess what can happen? All right, it's gonna come from mentally to physically. Okay, well, first you're gonna see some sign. Okay, so in the speech, I don't know when you in a public speech or like observing other people doing that, did you hear somebody like a lot like talking? They're not really having a flu or you're not sick. Well, why are they doing that? Because they feel the pressure. Okay, it's a kind of emotion. Okay, it's pressure, it's maybe even excitement, okay? And there is something they are too eager to talk or too fear to talk. And then the energy gonna stuck there in your throat. And then you're a lot, okay? So if the energy always there, it's gonna be transferred from mentally to physically. Well, if it's symptom, it's good. If it's really become a disease, like an illness, this is something not good. So don't let yourself until you get sick. Okay, so why I am so, my passion into a lot of communication about emotion, under example, okay, I work too hard, okay, a lot of things that I feel like, okay, I'm not doing the communication very right. I come from a math background, okay, we do a lot of numbers, we solve the problems, okay, we don't talk a lot. So I'm not really good at dealing with conflict, so I just choose to take it all by myself. Suppressing all emotion, okay, control emotion. And then I successfully sent myself into hospital, okay. I did an operation, and when I, lying on the bed, I feel like, okay, I need to do something, all right. So don't let really like illness happen to you, and then you start to wonder about how we should make changes. So it's actually simple, it's just emotion, okay. But then how the emotion come? What emotion come? Well, just keep it short. It's actually just giving you an example. So I'm leading a sales team. Okay. So when the two salesperson they are negotiating a contract with a client. Okay. And once and then the client get back like a response. Okay, can you lower price? So one salesperson get frustrated and said, my value is you're underestimating my value. Okay, you don't respect me. But the other salesperson actually is very excited. He said, well, that's where they show the interest, the customer interest to buy. Otherwise, they won't ask for the price. Then why the same thing happens, but two different emotions appear? Because it triggers your deep belief. Okay, if you are having the belief saying that if someone rejects you, meaning that they don't respect you, okay, and well, that's another big topic, then you're gonna react in that way. But if you are, having the belief more like you're being loved, your self-confidence, and you won't feel that way, okay? So emotion and what situation happened didn't really, it doesn't mean anything, it's how we feel. So just quickly wrap up everything. So there's one thing posting that you can do, everyone can do, okay? We always think, okay, have you think about, okay, if I am rich, I'll be happy. Do you agree? Everyone like that? If I'm rich, a lot of problems gonna be solved, I'll be happy. Or if I am successful, I succeed, I'll be happy, right? This like because and then. Well, if you flip the thoughts, you think about, okay, if I am happy, then I can be successful. That's the right way to think. If I am happy, then I'll be successful, okay? Because, if you're happy, you positive energy, and you attract good things, okay? You won't attract bad things, okay? So let's just flip. Don't ask me how to be happy, okay? Everyone will feel happy differently, okay? If I need some happiness, I will go for hot pot, okay? If one is not good enough, I'll go for twice, okay? Or you can sing a song, dance, whatever. So everyone's different, okay? All right, that's just it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Zhu. Yeah, I keep receiving questions, okay? So I will later ask the older panelists. So Xinlu just shared some great insight on workplace culture. As we know, for international students and the professionals, there's an added layer of complexity of adapting to a new culture while also building a career. That brings us another important topic. This is diversity, equity, and inclusion. DEI, right? DEI initiatives are becoming more prominent in both academy and the workplace, shaping how international students experience education and job opportunities in the US. So this question is for Kelly. Yeah, as someone who has worked extensively in both education and career development, what impact does DEI have on international students during their academic journey? And when it comes to job searching and career growth, DEI policies can be both opportunities and challenges for international students. So what are the pros and the cons of these policies when it comes to finding a job and advancing in US workforce?
Okay, thank you, Bobo, to ask me very complicated questions. And just one more quick question for all of us now. Have you ever heard DEI before?
Yeah.
A lot of people heard of that. And were you an international student many years ago? Yeah, I think a lot of us were international students many years ago. And now, and I think maybe in the future, there are always many international students. And so this policies, we can imagine that for an international student, you and your family spend a lot of energy, a lot of money, and then to send you to come to abroad, to study abroad, and then you want feedback, right? You want benefit from that, right? But changing is permanent. So which means that we can always have the different policies, and that policies sometimes may be out of your control. You don't know whether it will change or not. You don't know, maybe sometimes you are benefit from that and you get advantage of that, but maybe several years later, maybe 1 year later or 2 years later, that changes. For example, the DEI. Before that, a lot of people think, okay, I want to be a minority group because minority group will match for the diversity. But now, how can you explain that? Does minority group will give you some benefits for the DEI? That depends on.
So for me, because I always work in an educational field, and I always need the students' needs, especially the new graduates in. And now I'm also an entrepreneur, and I also have my own company. I need to hire the employee, so which means that I know them both. So that's why we have this event, and we want to give the companies the people you need. And we also want to help those new graduates to give them some opportunities to find their interns and to find their job, because we just, there are a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of students, and we all know that we both have the needs, but how we can match with each other. So now the AAWEA and the GV EduTech, we want to be a bridge to just make it transparent and effective for both of us to get benefit from that. And okay, back to your question, how does the DEI influence? My answer is that you can't change the policy, and governments sometimes they change it
tomorrow.
Yes, and different people, they have the different ways to read it, right? So some people think, okay, you're the minority, you mean that. Now you're not the minority, and you're not suitable for this. But how can the international student, you prepare for that? I mean that, prepare for yourself, and always do your best, and always think in other people's way. For example, as a lot of entrepreneurs, they said that, and to be an honest person, to be a responsible person. And I think that those employers, they are the responsible person, so they can do their business. So I know that a lot of my students, they just complain, okay, my boss is not good, my boss is on fire, and my boss makes people fussy a lot of times. But I just want to say that be yourself and do the best you can do, and the other people will say it, because you are good or not is sometimes one part from yourself and another part from the other's criteria. So you cannot just ignore it. So be the best of yourself and do the best you can do, and then to make a lot of, and to earn yourself a lot of chances, because sometimes the opportunity is not the other people gave you, because as we can make a bridge, we can help each others to meet with each other. Can we just force someone to hire you, or can we just force someone to work for you? No. So that's what I want to share, is that be the best of yourself. So the changing is always permanent. The policy is always changed. Sometimes we cannot do that. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Kelly. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Kelly. Yeah, for those valuable insight on DEI and cross-culture adaptations. So the next question is to Fiona. Yeah, finally, right? Yeah, this brings us to the next topic, the transition from employee to entrepreneur. Yeah, because today we have more people about interested about business, right, to be a business owner. And many young professionals dream of starting their own business, but making them leap requires not just the right resources, but also fundamental shift in mindset. I just mentioned that. So Fiona, you are successfully made this transition yourself from working as an employee to founding your own law firm. So can you share your journey and the key mindset shift need to go from being an employee to becoming an entrepreneur?
Yeah, sure. So just as I mentioned when I introduced myself, my first job fresh out of law school was working at a local immigration law firm, because that was in the state of Missouri, where the law school I went to. So from the beginning, I'm not a normal employee, and then I didn't use the normal way to get my internship and then my first job. Because I found it's really hard to get an interview as an international student, especially in a very conservative state like Missouri State. I first got panicked, so I thought, I don't have any internship, and then how could I pay back my law school investment? So one day I searched online and look at a lot of local law firms, and then I find an immigration law firm, and I think, hey, probably should match my background as an international student. If I need a chance to get into a law firm, then maybe I should try immigration law. And then I also happened to find that this law firm was offering a free consultation to any clients who wants to have a consultation about their immigration needs. So I think, oh, it's great. I will go there. I'm an international student. I have an immigration need. And then I will go there, and then I will talk to the attorney there. And then if I got the right chance, maybe I can also ask for an internship. So I make a schedule, I make an appointment with them, and then I go there first as a potential client. My future boss greeted me, and we talked about that, and then she also gave me really good advices about how I can get a green card, what are my immigration options are. And then at the last, we had a great conversation, and then I think she likes me, I like her, and I just asked, do you need any interns? What do you think I am? Can I be an intern here? And then my boss suddenly realized that I'm not here for immigration advices. I'm here for an internship. And then I think she likes me, so she hired me. I became an intern at the law firm, and then my boss also offered me the job when I graduated from law school. So I interned there for 2 years, and then I became an employee. And then just as President Yu just said, that my boss was also willing to sponsor me as a H-1B student, as an H-1B employee. When I say that I'm not a normal employee, was that I think I do share the mindset as my boss is. There are certain similarities between us. So when it was transitioning from employee to later on, I started my own law firm, and I think there are like 4 aspects that I really want to share with every one of you, because back when I was an employee, or even when I started my own law firm after I leave my first job, I didn't realize that, but it was like through the reflection that I find that there's 4 aspects that I think every one of you can check to see what kind of a person you are, whether you're on this side or on the other side. Well, I guess a lot of people, when you come here today, you're looking for advices that, oh, should I start my own business? Or if I already have a job, should I stay with this company as an employee, or should I start my own business as an employer someday, somehow? Because not all of people will become an entrepreneur. A lot of people that they doing great just being as an employee, they will climb the corporate ladder and then become the head of the company. So I'll just share the 4 aspects. So I will use that as an ABCD, just for me to remember that. So the first one is that ahead, is like think ahead. So when you're doing at your job at your current company, do you think ahead as your bosses? Do you think ahead as your kind of like a leader is? When I'm saying I think ahead is like, if you are asked to do certain kind of job and you don't understand why your boss is asking to do it, you think it's too tedious, you think it's meaningless, you think it's not useful, you don't understand why. then you may need to ask yourself that why my boss is asking me. He or she is now just simply putting a pain on you. He's not like punishing you. There might be a reason. They may want to avoid the risk. They may want to just to compliance with certain rules, so that even though this is not making any money, but still you need to do it because this is some kind of like required, even though this work is kind of tedious for you. Another time is that, do you have the vision that you share with your boss, or do you really will have a vision, even with you as an employee? So if you share the same vision about how this company is moving forward, or what kind of like a new opportunity that you're looking for, like the AI, like you will have the vision like how this AI is going to change your workplace, how the AI technology is going to change the company, or how the company is going to obtain the clients. You can definitely make a proposal to your employers. But what I'm thinking is that if you think that you always think ahead from your colleagues, and then you share the same vision a lot of time with your boss, with your leader, and then you probably is more than likely supposed to be an entrepreneur rather than an employee. If you think your current company is not sharing the same vision with you, and then you definitely has already found a new opportunity. The second one is that I call it a B. It's called like what kind of person you are. Like the to be or not to be, I use a B or being. It's like what kind of person you are. As a lawyer, and then when I say I'm not a normal employee, I'm also a very normal employer, because a lot of lawyers, like we're either a solo practitioner or we do the work by ourselves. So, and then we also enjoy the work product that we're doing it. So what kind of person, are you that kind of person that you really enjoy focusing on doing things, other than you enjoy about letting the other people do things for you? I'm not saying that because if your first intuition is that, oh, everybody wants to let the others doing it for you. That's not true. There are certain people that really like hands-on. They enjoy the fulfillment and the achievement, the feelings that they are actually the person who doing this work from start to finish. Other than there are certain people, they would rather just someone else do it for them, and then they can just encourage them, cheerlead for them, and then just share the work product with the others. So it's just totally different personalities. And then another thing that you may need to think about is that, do you like to take orders from the others, or you want to give orders to the others? So it's just like some people. My kids call me a control freak or a control mom because they think that I always tell them what to do. Well, a lot of people, they do like to take orders from the others. So because they don't have to think too much, because they think like giving orders to the others is kind of really stress them off. First, they have to think. Secondly, they have to persuade the others. If I have this time, you have this kind of energy, you have to talk this much. I have already done this job. So if you're that kind of person that you like to take orders, and I think that maybe you need to reconsider. But if you are that kind of person that would like to control, who likes to give orders, then entrepreneurship definitely is a good option for you. Yeah. And the third one is like challenges. Do you like to take challenges? When the world is like so many changes, is that stress you off or make you more excited? So if you think, oh, I'm gonna do a new job tomorrow, or I'm gonna to meet a new client tomorrow, or I'm gonna to have a meeting and then I'm going to talk with someone else, and then if I finish up this meeting, then maybe I can set up a new network, and then I can have a new business opportunity. Will that stress you out, or will that really excite you? I know a lot of time it was just a mixed feelings. You feel excited, you also feel stressed out. But which is like when you weigh it, which come like way more for you. So I personally like to take challenges. Like I like to do routine work because it gives me a kind of like a safety. But a lot of time I also like to take challenges. If you want me to do the routine work every day, once I get familiar with that, and then I will get bored, and then I want to do something else. So, but there's nothing wrong that you like to do routine work, like a lot of like master in Japan that we always see that there's a lot of shifu over there, and then they do all the legacies, and then they work on like really hands-on artistic work, and then it was the routine work, the repetitiveness, made it perfect, and then there's nothing wrong with that. But it's for the entrepreneur, and I think that you need to like really enjoy taking the challenges and making the challenges into opportunities, other than will really stress you out. And the last aspect, and then I call it as decision making. Are you a decision maker, or you rather to the others to make a decision for you? As a lawyer, a lot of time I talk to my clients, and then after I give them the risks, like I will always analyze the pros and cons of certain legal solutions for them. And then their next question for me is that, what do you think, Attorney Wong? What do you think? What the others do? What do the common people do? Can you make a decision for me? And my question is always that I cannot make a decision for you. My job is to analyze everything for you so that you understand the consequences of both sides, but you are going to be the person who makes a decision by yourself. I can recommend something for you, but I cannot make a decision for you. And then the more clients that I interact with, the more I realize that not every people was equipped with the decision-making skills. But sometimes they're scared of making decisions. Sometimes they don't know making a decision, or sometimes they don't want to make decisions by themselves. Maybe they don't want to take the consequences that they might make wrong decisions. So I just ask yourself that, do you enjoy making decisions for you, or do you just rather let the others making decisions for you? So that was just the 4 aspects that I reflected, and I think I want to share everyone with you, because when I was an employee, or when I started my own business, I didn't realize those, but it was during the process I interacted with a lot of my clients, and then I do find that there's successful people, successful entrepreneurs, they like to gather information, but they don't dare making decisions by themselves. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, this gives us a lot of information. Yeah, thank you so much. Can you give us, just beyond the mindset, can you give us a quick suggestion about what are the fundamental legal steps for entrepreneur must take to start a business properly?
Yeah, sure. This is going to be a bigger topic, so but I will just make it short.
Yeah.
So maybe not just all from the legal perspective, and then I also make it like a 4R rules. It's also easier for me to understand. So the first one is that you need to look at the rules or the regulations. So is there anything that you can do? So when you set up your own business, is there anything you can't do? And then once you figure out there's nothing you can do, and then basically you can do everything. So as a lawyer, we always give the risk to the clients. So we tell them what not to do, or what is better not to do it. And then the rest of them is up to our clients to do or give up or come up with the solutions creatively. So that's the first one, is that you need to know the rules. If you are in a certain industry that you need to get certain permit in order to do this kind of business, and then you don't want to get that permit. Just like Shiga just shared, that if you want to be an air flight carrier, and then you need to get a certain with that seal on it. So you need to figure out the rules in your own industry. And then the second layer, I think that you need to find the right resources. The resources right now, today we talk a lot about AI. You need to have AI, you need to have those professionals to help you, no matter it's from tax, from legal, or from like a business management, or from social media. And also the resources also including about all kinds of associations, business associations, like AAWEA, like our organization, our organizer here today. and also some local and government associations. A lot of that, they offer you free resources. You just need to look it up. If you don't know, you can ask AI ChatGPT to help you and to find out. Or just ask Tongbo here. Yeah. Definitely, she knows a lot more than even than me. And the third rule, the third R that I want to mention is that to do the reflection. A lot of times we can do it everything from the scratch at the first time correctly. And then it's that we will always rectify it. And then when we find out there's something wrong. So for my own practice, it's the same. So this year, my practice might do this way. And next year, there's new rules coming out, or I figure out there might be certain risks, or there might be certain better way to do it. And then I always do the reflection and then to change the way how I do it. So that's what I call like a reflection. And then the fourth one is I call like a reaching. So it's not reaching out to different softwares, but a lot of times like reaching out to real person, like the associations or your clients or your network. So I don't know whether it will answer your question, but also from the legal side, and I think when you start a business, of course, if you make it right, like if you sign up with a company, if you have a partner, you do want to have a agreement with your partner about like what the ownership interest will be. And then I'm really coming to my legal perspective is like you need to have a shareholder agreement or agreement with your partner. But a lot of time, my clients also share the same problem is that what if you want to divorce with your partner? Because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And then you may also need to think about a exit strategy with your partner. And then those will lead to a certain legal document. But
yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that part. Yeah. And I'm receiving one more question is for Mr. Guoliang Chao. Yeah. So this person asks, what's the difference of triangle area to Silicon Valley for the AI startup? How Research Triangle AI Society fostered the AI adoption and innovation?
Sorry, can you repeat that? I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Thank you for the question. It's a very good question. And the reason we started the Research Triangle AI Society is because we really want to get people together and to understand in this area. To tell you the truth, I only moved to RTP last year, and the first game after I moved is I work with some friends trying to use this as an opportunity to start this organization with the goal of improving the impact of AI, the impact of Research Triangle area in AI. So our goal is to definitely get RTP area to be better, to have more impact in AI. And we really have a very several strengths, like we have three very good universities, and also like RTP area is already a high-tech hub with a lot of like high-tech companies and a lot of companies that have sites in these areas. So we have the talents and we have the researchers here. And also, I think it's a very good area for leaders as well. That's why a lot of people move here. So we have a lot of strengths. It's just like we need to get people together to work towards that goal to make RTP area a hub for AI. So yeah, I hope like more people will join us. We just started and we are already like making a lot of progress. Of course, like it's just us, so it's not going to make too much difference. I just hope that everyone who are interested in AI, we are like people are learning, people doing things with AI, and then like eventually we are becoming one of the important part of AI.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah. So does anyone have more questions for the planners? Any more questions? Okay, let me check. How long did it take for you from starting the business to the company actually operating? So who said this? Okay, yeah, to whom?
Like this question is here. So I'm considering to start a business with the OPT status, but I'm not sure that how long did it take from you from actually starting the business to the company actually operating.
Who wants to answer the question? Yeah, how did it take for you from starting business to the company actually operating?
I would say instantly, but not instantly, which means like you are able to operate as long as you want to. But are you asking for like the first business or the first client, or you have a positive cash flow since the inception? Okay. I would say probably one month, within a month. Because so I just started from asking for the friends and the families, and then they start giving me the first business. And then once you have even a single one successful case, and then it will be much easier for you to find your next client who are not your family or friends. So don't need to be kind of like shy of asking your help from your classmates, from your friends or families, as long as you have one successful case. But I remember that the first case probably take me 10 times more than I do my second case. It's like I need to find a lot of know-hows in my first case, and they really helped me a lot. And then I really appreciate my first client, who is my church friend. And then she was still one of my best friends as well. So I asked for her help, and she said, okay, you're my church friend. I'm going to give this business to you with a face see you, just so I really still appreciate that friend.
Yeah. So the relationship and connection is really important.
Yes, it really depends on what kind of business you do. So if it's a service business, you can actually wait until you have referral and the clients. You can start a business and you can work on, because I do financial planning business as well. Well, after I get my license, it's like very quick, because I already accumulated a lot of connection in the front. So once I have license, it's basically licensing thing. So it's like Fiona already mentioned, if I have I'm qualified, then I can make money. But if you are in a retail business, like doing retail, well, that may be a lot, because you may want to involve a partner. Okay, that's maybe making the things more complicated, because Fiona also mentioned, when you're happy, just like getting a boyfriend and girlfriend, when you're in love, everything can be negotiated, right? Everything's okay. We just want to work together. We don't want to talk about divorce or separate. We don't want to talk about that. But involving a partner, we will need to think about it. And then it will become another question about locations, because it may be physical or it may be online. Or if you're doing a more complicated product, like product business, like we are a manufacturer, okay? And then you probably need, figure out the licensing things, the legal part for sure. And then you may work out a lot of components, because it's a supply chain. You may be bringing different stakeholders. So getting through everything, and if it's like research and development, like involved, so that's many things need to be done before you really can see any cash flow, okay? And it depends on, do you make any initial investment, Okay. Well, for our entrepreneur, it really depends. For the first, when I start my first business, it's not like a lot of money investment. And when I evaluate, is that a good business or a bad business, maybe I also think about how much investment, like money-wise, I need to put in. And then right now, because I have a lot of resources, many business want to, I'm not really, the ones they recruiting me, okay, want get me involved in their projects. Then I would say, okay, time investment is more important because our time is limited. We only have 25 hours a day, right? So how you want to leverage your time to the business. So that's really complicated. It really depends on what kind of business you're talking about. And then we talk about cash flow and operation. If you want to start a business, register, you can get a business ID in an hour, right?
Yeah.
I think that's a good question, but don't be so hurry. I mean that when you want to start a business, when you want to become an entrepreneur or an employer, just be an employee first. You need to get into that field and learn for something. Learn something harder, learn something detailed, and then you can create something. Yeah. That's my recommendation.
Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, because this is a general question. If anyone want to start your own business, you can contact with us, and we have a consultant for you. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. So, any more questions? Oh yes.
Looking for a job right now?
Yeah.
I have position open.
Yeah.
Okay. First, I have position open. I have multiple positions open. Okay. So I come to this company after a long time of resource accumulated together. Okay, I've been doing business since 2013 when I graduated. But I'm first an employee, but I do like business. A lot of resource. And then when people recognize my skill and they want to involve me in their team. So this company has a mother company in China, which has been founded in 1998. And they have about 600 employees there. It's a medical device manufacturer company. So we have our own research and development. We have global customers, sell to Europe and the US here. And last year we decided to have a US branch, like building a US company. Basically, easily the same. Instead of making product made in China, we want a product made in the USA. Okay, so we want to have some US base. So as we do need a lot of team here in the US, we want to do things like in a US way, not really in a Chinese way, because the thinking is going to be different, the culture is going to be different. That's why I do have position open. If you know anyone, healthcare, especially medical background, okay, we have clinical product, we have research assistant, we have regulatory assistant, and also a lot of on the sales. So that's really a lot. And talking more, to almost all the positions that I am interviewing right now, the question I always like to ask is, how do you think you're gonna like doing sales or not? I'm not really asking, are they interested in the sales position, but I just want to see how they really answer, because doing sales, marketing, a lot of soft skills gonna be, involved, talking, or a lot of mindset, attitude that you can see. Many people, they hesitate and they will say, oh, I like more internal job, and they're shy, and then I really need to see how much technical value you have. How can you do research? What's your reading, technical writing skills? Then I would evaluate a lot on the technical skills. But if a person, they are open, as long as they are open, I'm flexible, and I like to communicate. Even my sales I did in maybe Macy's, a lot of people work in Macy's, right? A boba shop, whatever. Well, it gives you the experience that you deal with people. And the client, customer, teammate, they're all same as people. So, a little share about there. Answer your question? Okay.
Thank you all. So I think that's for today's panel discussion session, right? If you have further more questions, please contact with us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have social. So I think dinner is arriving.
Yeah, dinner is arriving. Yeah. So before we go to have dinner and networking, so can all of the panelists, can you just give one final piece of advice for the audience today? Yeah.
Okay, my final suggestion is that do the best of yourself and reach out all the resources you can reach, and then give more opportunities for yourself.
Thank you.
Okay, my advice will be self-awareness. I'm a logic thinking people, but sometimes your brain is not helping. Your heart is helping. So self-awareness, ask yourself deeply, not using your brain. Well, your brain gonna help, okay? But in some this key, especially key decision-making process, ask your heart as well.
So my advice will be still related to AI. So just embrace AI and for whatever fields you are interested in, try to find how AI is applied in that field. So that's all I would say, because this is the time of AI. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and my advice is also related to your questions. It's just that I think after today's seminar, a lot of people, you're very excited to start up your own business, and then here comes the lawyer's 2 cents advices. It's like always be prepared to do the things from the scratch correctly. Other than you may have to spend much more time and then pay much more cost, and then if you suddenly realize that you have to transition or you have to suddenly change your way. So a lot of time we rush to do it. We want to seize the opportunity, but just maybe give yourself some time to be fully prepared. Think in the whole picture.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So furthermore, if you want to start a business, find an organization like us. Yeah, and be brave and connect with us. Okay, we can provide you a lot of resources you want. Okay, yeah. Yeah, we are finished. Yeah.
Okay, thanks everyone. Thank you for attending, and thank you all the speakers. We have our dinner set up in the other room next to this room. Okay, it's all there: pizzas, drinks, fruits, everything's there. And take the time because here we've been listening for a while, and I know we want to talk. Okay, and if you want to get social, get connected, that's the good plan.